Big Z Reviews. Wu Assassins is a new action fantasy series on Netflix, and it is really all revolving around Iko Uwais from the Raid films, and it's him being the Wu assassin that has to kill all the Wu warriors, which have like magical powers, and they come together. They're gonna rule the world, and a bunch of shenanigans. And it is at times like it's fun, and it's the action is pretty good, but as a whole, it's a bit of a mess.
Wu's house is a threat to me, which means it's a threat to you and to Chinatown. Find the Wu assassin.
You can't just kill the head of the triad. He's your father.
I have to try.
We have to help Kai save the world.
Whatever happens, I got your back.
Her family. Hi, brother's dog.
So along with Iko Uwais, some of the main characters are Brian Mann playing Uncle Six, which is like his adoptive father, and the main villain for most of the series. And later you have the second main villain is Tommy Flanagan, and he has some friends that are around him, and like they have to do a bunch of other action, played by Lee Jun-wee, Lawrence Cao, Catherine Winnick, and Louis Tan, and whenever Iko Uwais isn't in a fight scene, the quality of the fights drop down a bit, and even when Iko is there, toward the first episode, there is this great hallway fight scene. But at the same time, they have to use these horrible CGI for some of it. There's part of it involves him stabbing a guy, and there's the knife is completely CGI. And if it's done well, you wouldn't realize it. But if it's done poorly, it's really jarring. And then also this whole thing where it's kind of a goofy sort of thing where one of the other previous Wu assassins, he can take on the face of him, and that's played by Mark Dacascos. And he, so he looks like an old guy, and that's some of the point where Uncle Six is looking for this bald chef. And I don't understand why they do it for the show, but some of the times it just looks really weird. It just looks off. I really think that Corridor Digital, the YouTube channel, that could do a lot better than a lot of the CGI and all that stuff here. My biggest problem with the show is really that it just gets confusing at times. The world building is done so heavy-handedly. And there's also, way too often, they like to do this thing, where in the episode, there's multiple different timelines going. And I understand they have the one flashback where we find out what happened 15 years ago when the Uncle Six got his powers, and when there was a big fire that affected the four friends. And I mean, that's fine, but they also have stuff in one episode they have multiple different timelines going on, and it's just kind of confusing and kind of goofy. It didn't need to be like that. Then they have the problem that the Fire Wu is the Uncle Six, and that's the main thing. And you start getting the other Wu, and they don't introduce them enough. They're oh, okay, so what's this guy's powers? Okay, he's a metal Wu, so he can cause a power outage, and he somehow uses the iron in people's blood to control their mind and take their body. And okay, the Wood Wu can heal people. Okay, the Earth Wu, okay, that's pretty easy. I can get that. But it's the Water Wu, okay. But if some of the stuff is if it needed to be better, the info dumps, they need to do something else to try to explain how these things work to you. It didn't quite work. And I was thinking, the best parts of the show is sometimes when they didn't worry as much about all the magic sort of stuff and just had some fun scenes. There's some, at a certain point, there's some character turns, and there's this great scene with these two characters in this diner when they're in the country folk they're being really racist to the Asian guys, and that the one guy deliver this great speech about it, about how, what it's been like to be a Chinese American and it's really interesting and also kind of funny too, and I really liked that episode and that scene, and I wish there was more of that in the show, and it wasn't always so serious about stuff, and when it takes itself too seriously, the things that are stupid about it just are much more noticeable and goofy. It's tough because there are some great fight scenes and some of the story is okay, but it's just the horrible CGI and the bit of a mess of a story really brings the show down. Like, I don't know if they'll do it in that second season or not, and I don't know if they should, because especially like towards the end, there's a lot of like weird stuff going on. And I'm like, what's going on here? Why did they time travel? Why did they? Oh, okay, whatever. I guess that's it. So I could probably give like a 6.5 out of 10. I wouldn't really highly recommend it, but it does some cool stuff in the show. But thanks for watching. Together, play it from my head and subscribe if you need Z over there. Thanks. This has been a Big Z TV show review. Thanks for watching.